How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Pulses back with us in the building. They can say their names and what they do in the band.
I'm Kevin, I play drums.
Caleb, play guitar and do vocals.
Matt, play guitar and do vocals.
Awesome.
And our bassist David is not here yet, so
He might show up.
He might show up.
He might show up. We might get a special guest appearance. But how you guys been? I think it's been almost a year, or maybe more, a little bit more than that, since the last time we talked. Just how have things been going with the band? I know that you guys went out with homies of the channel, with Sales Ahead, and all that other good stuff. So why don't you tell the people what's been going on recently?
I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Recently, we put out a single like a week ago. It's the first one from our new album, Speaking Into Existence. That'll be out this year now because it's 2020 now. But yeah, so yeah, we put out our first single from there, Louisiana Purchase. So really stoked on that. That's pretty much just been our thing, like you said. Computers doing a bunch of notifications. Oh my god. No, this is
You haven't updated anything on this laptop.
Yeah. This is really the first time I booted this laptop in probably a month. I used this laptop for school.
This is just how it's gonna be. I feel like, honestly, we're just gonna have this episode is sponsored by Windows, Microsoft, where you can get only the best quality products here.
Oh no, I have a critical firmware.
You said it was in power saver mode. Is your battery gonna die?
No, I put it in power.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, that's the other thing we're up to, updating
our firmware.
That's our bit of sponsored post. Thanks Microsoft for sponsoring this
Sponsored
episode.
by Raid Legends.
Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. Links in the description where you can buy the game. It helps out me. I am not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, but Raid Shadow Legends, if you want to. I am not afraid to whore myself out on the streets. So
Exactly, same here. We'll take the money.
Now Kevin needs to be sponsored by the city of Final Fantasy.
You're right.
Oh yeah,
That's what he's.
That's
on.
my
I feel
game.
that. I feel that. Okay. But other than Windows updates, obviously, how has the track reception been? I listened to it. I thought it was very sick. It's so cool to see how you guys have progressed since the last record, and just to see the growth in that. And so I guess how have other people received it? Like your fans, people like it, people hate it. What's the vibes?
It's been very positive, and we're kind of not necessarily surprised. Well, surprise is good, but it's we kind of figured with it being a 5-minute song that was bounce related and just out there, that people would be this is kind of weird. I don't know about this. It worked out really well, so we're really happy. Nothing but good vibes. I mean, I haven't seen any negative comments, so at least the people that are hating are just staying quiet, and that's always good.
I think the most negative thing I saw was oh, this is better than their old stuff, and I was like, well, that's positive and negative. But
Yeah, it's been just been overwhelming somewhat. It always is for me, especially whenever we put out new music.
Sure.
Always worried about the reception of it somewhat. And you kind of want to always be steadfast in your own belief in it. But yeah, it can waver. But yeah, it's just been overwhelmingly positive, and just been feeling very good about it, and very excited for putting out the rest of it.
And how do you feel obviously you guys are putting out a new record this year, so do you feel in terms of experimentation, is the new record a little bit more experimental than that, or is this track kind of the oh, we took it easy on you and then we're just gonna hit you with a free a 14-pound truck or something,
the rest of it's weird. It's weird. There's some stuff on there that's more standard for us, I guess, but most of it is out there.
Yeah, we've been getting some mixes back already, and we're noticing that like, oh, well, this was actually a pretty good representation of what the album is going to be like. In that this like Louisiana Purchase is really like just poppy, happy, like straightforward kind of. But then there's other poppier songs, and then there's other songs that are even more weird. Like, there's one that I'm just like very. I just have this in the back of my head. I'm just like, people are going to either really hate this one or really like it. So there's a spectrum. It goes. I like to think it's our, like, we kind of internally have been describing it as our Meteora in ways.
Okay, I feel that.
Because it's like not the same record, as like Hyper Theory Meteora, but it does expand on the same kind of principles. So you have a lot of poppy songs, you have a couple moody songs, you have some off the wall songs. So I think it's just, you'll be able to latch on to whatever you want to again, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, with how we are and our individual members and our individual like inspirations, it's in the same kind of aspect as Bouquet, and just like a lot of different songs. Pretty much every song just has its own kind of like different drive behind it, or different kind of, we always try and go for the different genre blends, So everything has a different vibe to it, but also is still like us.
It still feels cohesive too, even though like everything we've gotten back so far has been really different. They all still kind of fit together.
Yeah.
But then who do you guys feel like you pulled from in terms of this record? I mean, I feel like the last time we talked, you have like, obviously you're like staple artists, but like who do you feel like you guys pull from? Obviously more like in that pop direction. So like, who are some pop artists or like pop groups or something like that you may have like kind of indirectly influenced how you guys were writing this record this time around?
Pop artists, I would say not as much strictly, not any new strictly pop artists. I know we took a lot of influence still from like a lot of hip hop. It's just like what we have kind of done, and then especially like on Louisiana Purchase, we tried to like put it especially in the forefront, So I would say some of the artists, I remember I was writing a riff specifically like, oh, I want this riff to kind of remind me of Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay, yeah.
Or I want this kind of thing or whatnot to be, I don't know.
The Whispers was one. That
yeah,
was
the Whispers.
An old like R&B one that from.
Yeah, I was trying to pull a lot from for some of these songs, pull a lot from like older R&B, like 80s R&B. We have this one other song that's a go-go song. Specifically, we wanted that one to be. So I was taking like influence from like legends like Chuck Brown kind of thing. I was thinking about like a song like The Wobble and such, because I wanted to be like, oh, go-go music, started in DC. Post-hardcore, the classic term, at least post-hardcore, started in DC. Let me try and like put them together. So that's kind of where the kind of poppier edge has come from. And then, like I said, again, same kind of influences as last time,
Yeah, I know like a few from me were like, I took one thing from like an Adam Neely video.
Oh, tight.
That's on what's going to be the second single, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But then that song also had like a lot like Birds influence, which is like more what you would expect, I guess. But then like on the weird one that we were talking about, like some of the production stuff that we did was like very like 100 Gex influenced, and like
100 Gex or like Kenny Beats.
Yeah, some like Kenny Beats shit. Like I don't know, it's just
it's all over. It's like a lot of the influences, I think generally, even like whether they're like pop or like hardcore or whatever, are just a little bit more outside like on the fringe.
Yeah, sure.
Like we have a song that's like very J-Rock influenced, so like Trico and like
Polka Dot Stingray
and Soko Naru, and just like a lot of bands that are over there that are doing really weird off the wall shit.
Yeah, they are.
And so there's like stuff from that. There's stuff from like old post-hardcore, at least for me. I know like Satia and Screamo, and like I don't know, Thursday still a constant.
I know for me, like Q and Not You has been a huge influence on me lately, and it's like some of it did show up on this record, and I think more of it will show up like in the future. But I know in one song in particular, I was just like, oh, I want this to be like a very like Q Not You type of post-hardcore.
Type beat.
Yeah, type beat. So yeah, I've been definitely kind of going into a lot of like older type of post-hardcore, like early 2000s type things. And yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of because it's kind of weird to speak on it, especially at this point, you know.
Sure, yeah.
Because a lot of the music for this album was written and finished like in November 2018.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so you've been
So-
sitting on it.
Yeah, it's been a long time since like it's like we've been working on it since still, but like most of like the music was finished.
Yeah, I think
Sure,
we wrote
yeah.
like one or two since then that ended up on the album because it was originally like 15 tracks and like
Yeah.
6 of them were different, and then we cut it down and swapped a few out, and
Yeah.
like Jack Shot was originally going to be on there,
Right.
and then it just didn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
And we have like 4 demos of songs that just never
Yeah.
they didn't make it. But
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like it's weird to kind of speak on sometimes just like the differences because I'm like, oh, this is what I'm influenced now. I wonder what I was kind of influenced by at the time.
Sure,
'Cause
yeah.
I mean, it's different. But yeah, I mean, just pretty much like we've been saying, it's just like pulling from as many places as we can still.
Do you feel like that is how you guys go about like the writing process now, is where you're just like, let me just put a bunch of demos together and then see what kind of works and then kind of build off that progression? Or do you feel like you're like, oh, I got to be in the studio, I got to write tracks? Because I feel like there's two sides of the coins, and each band kind of works differently, where there's, you know, some bands that have like literally maybe this much material going into the studio and then they'll write a full record. And then there's other bands that will take like years to get, like, they'll have like, oh, I had this riff from like 2013 that I like reworked and did all this stuff, and then eventually made it onto like, you know, a 2020 release or something like that. Do you feel like you guys kind of work in more of like a batch sort of thing, and then build off that, and then those tracks ultimately make it onto like, you know, a single or like an album or an EP or something like that?
I think, well, I guess I'll start with just like, well, for Bouquet, it was definitely the case of we went into the studio with everything we had. We had those 12 songs, and that was it. This time was slightly better than that, somewhat, because like he said, we had like 15 to like 16 this time.
Sure, yeah.
And cut it down. Like, I don't think we could consider ourselves really like still the batch in the sense of like, oh yeah, I wrote like 50 songs and cut it down. It's like nothing like that. Usually, I know for me, usually when I'm writing stuff, I will scrap it if I don't like it almost
Yeah.
immediately. So usually if a song gets finished, it's probably going to be used. But again, like for this time, we did cut like 3 songs. So, and maybe we'll still put them out at some point, you know, because we want to, from this point forward, we kind of just want to be able to release more material.
Sure.
And it doesn't always have to be for an album. It's like we still want to have albums because that's just what we like. But yeah, so
yeah, like we already have other things planned for this year, like other releases that aren't
Sure.
like albums, but they're gonna come out before the end of the year, ideally.
yeah,
And before our next, like our 3rd album, or whatever. But so like we're now that because we recorded this whole album ourselves,
Sure,
so
yeah.
now that we can do that, we're just like, oh, well, now we can record
Do
whatever.
whatever.
we want. Yeah.
yeah,
To go back, like, and I guess go back to the question specifically with the writing before or like
Yeah.
during studio time. Like, we tend to write everything as much as possible before studio time, or at least
Sure.
we did.
Yeah.
You know, now that it's like you mentioned, the home recording thing, it's kind of easier to be in the studio and
Write it,
'cause
yeah.
you are in the studio right now.
Right
you know,
now.
things like that. But like, I know it's just like the way that we start. We kind of like say, oh, well, what have we been listening to lately? What do we kind of like? Or what's the kind of vibe that we want to put on a
Sure.
song? And like, oh, this is going to be, you know, like a Seisha type beat, or this is going to be like fucking, I don't know, Fall Out Boy type beat
Yeah.
or something. So we'll start like with that, and like someone will lay down a part, and then we'll build on that and build on that. Or like someone will have an idea that they kind of fleshed out, like drums, bass, guitar, and then we'll see it's like, oh, that sounds good, or I'm like, oh, I can't play that, I'm not doing that, or you know, things like that. So it just kind of usually starts with idea, one like individual like riff or beat or whatever, and then everybody just piles on Guitar Pro and adds to it and fleshes it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm always grateful for. It's like everybody in this band, writes their own parts.
Yeah.
And especially with this being like the second record, that we all know how we want us to sound. So all of us just like trusting each other to throw down something and then throw down something good.
But then we also, I feel like none of us have like egos about each other writing each other's parts, because I know there's stuff on this album that like Caleb wrote my guitar part for a certain section, or I wrote his, or David wrote my guitar part, or I wrote David's bass part, or Danny wrote some of your guitar parts on one of them, like and then like you did most of the drums, but I know Danny did like some of them and Caleb did some of them, so it's like it. And then lyrics has been mostly Kevin, but then there's like certain songs that I wrote on, certain songs that Caleb like wrote on or had an idea for at least, and then Danny wrote some of it. So it's like we can all like, sometimes one of us will have an idea and pretty much finish a song, and it's like that's fine. But a lot of the time it ends up just being like the pile on.
I think the collaborative effort is like really good too, because a lot of bands, I feel like they're like, oh well, if I only play guitar, I can only like, I feel like I'm only subjugated to only doing the guitar part, and I feel like if anybody has another opinion, it's just like you need to leave, you need to go, you need to go out and never come back. But I think it's really cool when I see a band that's like they all know how to do multiple instruments, and they're able to kind of give at least an idea, even if it's not necessarily something that they write particularly, but are able to be like, maybe like you should do this instead, or like maybe we could switch this up or something like that. And that's really cool too, because like you said, you guys like home DIY, record your stuff, so it's not like you're in the studio with like a producer and he's just like, maybe I feel like this might work better or something like that. And I feel like you guys all collectively saying like, maybe I'm not feeling that part, or like, or maybe we should take, Kevin's idea. What the fuck?
What I was saying is like, I guess all those Windows updates just fucking just drain that shit.
Well, I guess this episode is no longer sponsored by Microsoft. It's unfortunate. Shout outs to
we're going to Apple now.
Bill Gates. If you want to send the Pulses boys some Windows gear, that'd be very tight. Just please at Bill Gates. But anyway, guys, as I guess as we were like abruptly cut off, and you will love it all. Very post Brandon is on that John already. So, but I guess like I mean, I've always loved when bands kind of do that like collaborative effort, like within their own group. I mean, I think it's always very dope to have like other people like in on a track or something like that. But when a band all collectively know how to write on different instruments, I think that's always a cool perspective. Like whenever I see other guitar players play, like it's cool to see how they write, how they go about different stuff, and then like I'll DM them and be like, yo man, how'd you kind of come up with that? And it's just cool to get a unique perspective from somebody else that maybe doesn't have the same musical background or like the same musical influences. So I feel like that's one of the many reasons why I like your band, is that it's just so impressive how you guys all, which I didn't know, that you guys all like individually obviously write your own stuff but have collaborate within the band itself. So I think that is a really cool aspect to the band, and if you watch this, I feel like that should be one of many reasons why you should check Pulses out. But my next thing, guys, obviously you toured with our good friends and with Sales Ahead. I have to ask, how was that? You can tell them, you can start internet beef now if you'd like, or later, however you feel. Santino, I'm watching you. But I guess, how did that go? How was it 2 weeks? How long was the run? And just like how do you feel like things transpired?
Yeah, it was a week-long tour.
Oh, dang.
It was like from Saturday to Saturday. It was great. It was like, honestly, well, I know for me personally, I think I can say for like most of us, is like, I know that was like the biggest highlight of my year, just with like just like there was no issues. Literally, the only issue that happened was, and I'm sorry for putting you on blast, Santino.
That was I want to preface this and say I was completely unintentional in saying Santino, but for some reason my brain was like something. I love Santino, I love you, but I knew something was up. So this is great.
Yeah. It was when we were playing one of the dates in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It was near the end. It was like the third to last day of the tour. And we were just chilling, waiting, because we got to the venue early. And so everybody was like doing their own thing. And then Matt and I were like, oh, we want to get some food. And Santino and Ryan did too. So we hopped in their van to go get food. And then we got back. We took a wrong turn. We took a wrong turn. And so he was trying to, turn around, but this street was pretty thin. And then backed into a ditch. So their van got stuck in a ditch for like an hour. And I just felt so bad because I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm just here. So that was
they got it out, or like everybody.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for it entirely, but
it's like they just got like road assistance and they got it out and everything was good. They still like loaded in on time and everything, so no issues. But it was just a very unfortunate situation. And
I just remember Taylor talking about because Taylor was with Sierra at the time, and Taylor said that you just heard Sierra on the phone go, "What? What happened? What's wrong? Where's the band?" Just going.
And then this was on a very long street too. So it was the four of us, and we just see the rest of the tour package just walking down this long street, and we're just like, man.
I'm so mad. This guy came out of his garage, looked at us, laughed, and went back inside. Come on.
We love you, Santino, but oh my god, I feel like you guys are not gonna tour again after this. So I just want to be the big father figure in this whole thing. You guys need to both apologize. I know it's mainly Santino's fault, but we're gonna let that slip under the rug. And I love both of you very much. So let's just put that in 2019 where it belongs, and we're in 2020 going further. So just let's just do that, and you guys will have.
We're not
going to
do that next time on the next.
There you go. Awesome. But I have to do a follow-up segment because I remember last time we were talking and you guys ranked the Kanye records. I have to get your idea on that new Kanye, John. I know you knew it was coming. Come on. I had to ask you guys. You guys were so adamant and so poignant on that Kanye thing. So I need to know what your true thoughts are on it. I was like, this may or may not preface whether or not you guys tour with Kanye in 2020, but I just wanted to get that out there as you guys being Kanye fans. So
first off, I'll say is just what a year that Kanye has had for since this last interview. It's my
he must have watched it. I feel like he watched it. He had to have. I know it deep inside that he must have watched it.
Was that interview before Ye that summer with Ye Daytona?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
It was.
It was 100%. Yeah.
So
was it? It was before any of the stuff.
It was before the wild shit. Absolutely.
No, Ye came out. Ye came out before I was in the band.
Yes. But the interview you were with was a different interview.
That's a different interview. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So far back. So it's just at the time, Kanye had not done anything.
Yeah, he was still
No, I remember what. Okay.
Yeah. He was hella under the radar. It was I think he had released maybe a couple songs with Ye. And then it wasn't just whatever. We're not even I'm not even gonna divulge what's. You can look it up. You have the internet.
All of the saga of like
Kanye.
post like off
Post-
meds Kanye.
Yeah, post
It's
Yeezus.
just- I can't even. I'm not even going to begin to comment on that. But I will talk about music because that's what I can do.
There you
That's
go.
what I know.
Amen.
And-
Or Ye.
Starting with Ye,
Or Daytona.
Or
Kind of that
era.
Yeah, that era.
Ye was cool. Kids See Ghost was great. And Jesus is King is not good.
Yeah.
Hot takes, baby. That's what I love.
It's
It
not.
had its
good.
moments, but it's not.
As a record.
No, it's
not
It's
good. Like
Yeah. I know for me, it was like, when Ye came out, I'm like, all right, this is the worst Kanye record that he's put out. And I was like, I'm still okay with it. But then he put out Kids See Ghosts the next week with Kid Cudi, and I was like, this is top tier. This is my favorite album of 2018. And, yeah, and then Jesus is King. I just got really sad.
You were like at the beginning. You were like trying to
Yeah.
rationalize it because I remember like I hung out with you like the day after or 2 days after. You're like, yeah, it's got some good parts, and then now you're just like, nah.
No.
Yeah.
It does, like, I'll stand by it. It's just like, some of it is good. I'm like, oh, like the choir parts of it, dope.
Yeah.
Oh, he brought back clips, dope.
yeah.
Everything else, no.
The non-Kanye parts are.
Literally
Look.
everything.
Follow God.
Follow God. That was the only good song on there
Yeah.
for me. Like as a whole, like he did it. The beat's good. He was rapping.
Yeah.
I liked it. But everything else was just like, oh, this piece is cool. I guess.
This 5-second interval piece is just fantastic, but
Well, that was a nice synth line.
yeah. I
will say,
go ahead, go.
I will say, I do not hate that Chick-fil-A line as much as people do. Like, it's a bad line. It's a bad line, don't get me wrong, but I'm not out here being like, what the fuck? This is the worst thing ever.
It's like one of those like good bad lines.
Yeah, and it's
where
like he's had plenty of that in
It's
his
the
entire
bleach.
career.
Yeah.
It's the bleak asshole of this record. That's it. He had that on T-Lop, and I loved it still. And now he's got a bad one on this one, then it's okay.
Yeah.
I'd attribute the Chick-fil-A line to what A Day to Remember did in their most recent song. I think it's Resentment, where they were like the Eye of the Tiger. I was just like,
yeah,
Yep.
I'm like, family,
pretty
no.
much like that.
yeah.
I'm like, no, just
You
no.
want to go scene hot takes?
Yeah.
That song, trash.
No,
I'm
you-
sorry.
hey,
Trash.
I like
Wow.
that song, but that's fair.
Can we
It's
just
better than the last one.
can we
Oh,
just can we just
Better than
have
Resentment. Just
can you
better-
guys just come on weekly and we can do like hot takes with pulses? I
Oh,
think we-
absolutely.
Oh, we could.
Can we make that a series? Like,
Yes,
for real?
please, let's do it. I swear
you
to
wanna
God,
get
we'll do
No.
it. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll be the most hated people on the internet. Wait, that's Swancore. Sorry. Sorry. Excuse me. I didn't. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I mean.
Hey, guess what, guys? The next record doesn't sound like Dance Gavin Dance at all.
We are throwing out the hot takes right now. We are the chefs in the kitchen, and we are just cooking up the spiciest of content here. But we're gonna push that aside, and if you'd like to see Pulse's X Audio Addiction 2020 hot takes, let me know in the comments. We'll get it popping. But the next thing, guys, I guess, keeping it more current, who have you guys been listening to lately? Obviously, we're in the new year, so nothing new has come out yet. But what have you guys been jamming, I guess, in like late 2019, I guess?
Gotcha.
That Issues album fucking slaps.
Yes.
That shit changed my life.
That's like the whole band is like
Collective.
obsessed with that album.
Yeah, even David.
Collectively.
And like David tends to be the one I feel like out of the four of us that listens to other stuff.
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
even like, yeah. So that's up there.
That was easily like one of the most important albums to come out of this scene. And, like,
Drink About It
oh,
is
wow.
the best hook in the scene.
Yeah.
Period. Like
They did it.
they did it.
Yeah. Are we talking about specifically like that came out in like 2019 or like?
No, just in general. I
Okay.
was just saying late 2019 as a
As a time period.
Yeah.
time period.
I don't know
yeah.
if you want to like go over the rest of yours, if you have anything.
I don't know. I've been like very recently. I've been getting into Sleep Token a lot.
Yes.
Just because seeing them live on that Issues tour was like sick. I don't know what else I've been listening to. I've been listening to 100 Gex a lot.
Nice.
I don't know. Come back to me. I'm gonna look. I forgot what I've been listening to.
Let's see. At least for me, I guess. I don't know why specifically, even though I've been into them for a while, but I'm listening to it a lot more lately. I've been listening to Lower Definition a lot.
Oof.
Uh,
Classic.
Trying to think of some other ones. Like I said, Q and Not You, like their album No Kill No Beat Beat has been pretty much like in consistent rotation for me the last like year and a half. Glassjaw and Head Automatica. JPEG Mafia.
Oh,
Like
yes.
that one from last year. It's dope. Trying to think of some else. I don't know. Kevin, what you got? Too.
Let's see. Issues. That record's great. I've been kind of like revisiting old things that I like,
Okay,
like with
yeah.
the ending. So I was just like, oh, let me go back and listen to like the first half of the decade, my favorites back then.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
So like just kind of reevaluating. I was like, do they still hit the same? Or but so like a lot of stuff from like 2010 to 2015 I've been listening to, just various like Kanye record. Sleigh Bells is one of my favorite bands, and I've been listening to like all their stuff again.
Tight, yeah.
Caleb put me on to Pretty Girls Make Graves. I've been listening to them a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Seisha is in constant rotation. Since it's the season, it's winter. I love Screamo in the winter. Loma Prieta. Hip hop wise, let's say Danny Brown.
Nice.
JPEG a little bit here and there too. Run the Jewels since they're coming back
yeah.
soon. I don't know. I'm just like I'm all over the board. It's really just like Doja Cat.
Facts.
Yeah.
A lot of Doja Cat. Rico Nasty. Those Zach Fox tracks.
Nice.
Carly Rae Jepsen. I'm like my list is like flashing to my head right now.
That Strawberry Girls album.
That Strawberry Girls album.
Yeah.
Like it was front to back, just like nothing but good songs.
I'm always listening to Say Anything. I'm always listening to Enter Shikari.
Oof.
I fuck with anything that Kenny Beats produces, pretty much. I don't know. I don't know what else I've been listening to recently. I don't know.
Baby Metal put out a great record.
Yeah.
I know I've been listening to a lot of Blood Brothers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just been listening to a lot of lo-fi hip-hop beats, too. But that's...
Beats you can chill.
Beats you could chill to.
Yeah. That's...
Chill, relax, study too.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Awesome, guys. Next question. Another fun one. If there was an album that you wished that you could write, what album would it be? It's one that happened. Past tense, obviously.
That's like it's really good, but I don't know because like there's so many like albums that I feel like embody me and that I wish I was a part of, or like I don't know.
Say Anything self-titled for me is one. Like,
Oh,
I love that record all the way through, and I feel like I pull from that when I'm, like, writing a lot. Or, like, A Flash Flood of Color by Enter Shikari is probably up there, too.
Yeah.
Plus, the writing process for that, and recording process for that album was so cool. I think it would have just been cool to be involved with, because they, like, went to Thailand and recorded it. It was sick, but I don't know.
Should I just do it, Kevin?
I'm gonna do it too.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I mean, that's like my favorite album of all time, but also the reasoning behind it, why I would like to be a part of it, is just like the amount that went into it and the amount of collaboration that went into it is the most important part for me, because it's just like the fact that, you get all your homies and seclude yourselves, and like they did, you go to Hawaii and seclude yourselves in the studio, and you just bounce ideas off of everybody, and then it's just like, all the lights, even though there's like only 2 listed features, or like 1, because I think Rihanna's the only one that's credited, like in the song title, but there's like at least 10 people on that song. So it's just like, even though you're not even doing like a main part, I just want you to have a vocal on this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of collaboration would be something I would aspire to do if I ever get to that point where you just like, oh, have a super group where you have like 15 people or something. I don't know, just to be able to do that kind of collaboration, because I feel like that it's just like that album's like defines an era for me because of that. You know, it's just like you got so many people that were so popping at that time. You created careers and you also cemented careers with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd take his answer. But if I were to actually give my own, like, his is actually a really good answer, and I'm not going to even come close to explaining anything like that. So the one, it's like I have two, I guess, sort of, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure. Shoot.
Sleigh Bells Treats is like super important to me, in that it just really encompasses everything that I like in like hard music, soft music, pop music, gritty, you know, production is out of control, and just it's a perfect record to me. So that would be cool to be a part of that, and I feel like the process for that was cool. But then I have to say it because everybody kind of expects it. I really liked Downtown Battle Mountain 2 a lot.
Ooh, okay.
Like, as instrumentation and like production and songwriting, like it's just the archetype for like everyone out there right now. It's just everyone on that is doing what I want them to do, and I know I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say that. for a specific member of the 5-person band, because there are other members of that band, everyone was doing what they should have done, and as a band, they did good things.
You don't have to explain it to me. I get it. I've been a DGD fan for a long time, and we all know who that certain someone is that does his certain thing. That, again, we're gonna go nameless for now, because I feel like everybody has the internet and can go Google it. But yeah, no, I would have to agree. Even though I know my personal favorite is Happiness, because I feel like Kurt, it's gotta be like Kurt. I feel like Kurt is peak Kurt performance.
He's a saint.
I think the second closest that I feel like he's gotten is the most recent Royal Coda record. I feel like it's kind of close to form. I don't think he'll ever peak after Happiness, and if he does, then I'm gonna have multiple pants changes during an album listen. But no, I feel like that was his. I feel like that's his peak work. But I will say, yeah, I would say the one person we were talking about in question, he did his thing. So I'm gonna have to we're gonna leave it at that. But kind of bouncing off the question I just asked, if you guys could compile a musical supergroup, who would be in your band?
Oh, I got this.
I mean, go ahead.
Oh shoot! Right out the gate, jeez.
Wait, hold on. I need to think about it a little bit.
You just said you had it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I have like a few of them. Like, I just need to figure out. Okay, I mean, Sky from Issues on bass, hands down. That's easy pick.
Yeah.
Probably Zach Garrett on guitar.
Ooh,
that'd be sick. I want both Lo-File and Kenny Beats on production.
Oof. Okay. Feeling.
I don't know who I want on drums. I don't know.
That's up to you.
I don't know. I don't know. And then like maybe Kurt on. I don't know. I don't want to put Kurt and Zach. No, Kurt and Zach are perfect together. That's fine. Yeah. I just want like some like really like dark like R&B hip hop shit with Kurt on it and Zach on it. And the Issues guys on it. I feel like that would be sick.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oof. Okay.
But
What you got, Phil?
I don't know. I'm gonna just list off people. I don't even know how well it works. I'm thinking because I remember also like this question last time. I do remember at least like one specific person. I would want Thundercat.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just popping up in my mind at the moment, like Nick Newsom.
Oof. Yeah.
Want Anderson .Paak on drums.
That's
that's in that group. Yes, Cowboy on drums.
That's
Facts.
spicy.
Okay.
It's just like I don't even know what I would want necessarily, or I would either want Nick or Daryl Palumbo on vocals.
Mhm.
I really like Rudy Gajadar. I forgot how to pronounce his name.
Rudy G.
Rudy G.
Rudy G, just their dude.
Like his name as well. Like that dude's drums are so good. Guitar. I don't know. It's hard to say for me at this point, because it's just like in some aspects I'm like, oh, I would want to be able to make a supergroup that's like scene related, but then also it would be dope to get like a R&B or hip hop type of group, and especially get people that I know in the scene that could pull it off, like kind of what Matt was doing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm dodging.
Yeah, I know you're dodging, and I don't have anything.
Yeah, he was dodging. That was the biggest flex I've seen all in 2020 so far. So
I don't know. Let's see. On drums, I would probably have to pick either Matt Mingus, because I really like his drum parts.
yeah.
Or dude from Thursday.
Oh,
But
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Like, he's so rhythmic. I don't know his name. I don't really learn people's names. Like unless I have listened to them for too long.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I have to at that point. Let's see. Bass wise, they stole all the basses that I want.
Both of them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, take both of them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another bassist that I can just kind of pull out of nowhere. It is hard to think about records and who worked on them.
If you can't remember the bass player, if the band.
Okay, so y'all picked people that are alive. I want Rick James.
Oh yeah.
I want Rick James. Rest in peace. But yeah, he could slap. Fuck it, Prince.
Or who? What about Drake's uncle?
What's his name? Larry Graham.
Yeah.
I don't want him.
Did he invent
Don't
slap?
want him. Maybe.
Yeah, I thought he invented slap bass.
I don't care. I want.
But he's also
I take all that back. Take all of them back. They're cool. But Bootsy Collins. There we go.
Facts.
There you
Actual-
go. Facts.
Very good bassist. Okay. Let's see. On guitar, it would have to be something stupid, like Buckethead or something.
Josh Travis, yeah.
Josh Travis is good.
Tosin Abasi.
Yeah. Legitimately, probably, I don't know, guitar-wise. No, Josh Travis would be pretty good. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would want everyone that I've mentioned to be out of their element though. It would have to be a genre or something that they don't normally do, just to hear how they would do it. I would make Josh Travis do a pop punk record just cause, just to see how chunky or whatever that record would end up being. Vocally, let's just go ahead and bring Nick Newsham on because he needs to do more music.
He does.
Matt Geis can come through too. And Napalm, just to throw in some weird vibes. Find whatever Krista from Russell the Bear Once is doing, and bring her back through. And for good measure, let's throw in. Let's see. I don't know, Zach De La Roca to do all the raps. On the album. I'm just literally saying things.
That-
none of
that's-
this is-
I think it's Zach Fox.
Zach Fox on ad-lib duty, strictly.
Oh my god.
Ad-libs and Swiss Beats, because I still wanted to do something with Swiss Beats personally, and Swiss Beats can produce the whole thing along with Kanye and Joey Sturgis.
This is the most off the wall shit I think I've heard. I've asked this question many times, and that might have been my favorite answer that I've ever gotten. That's like some alternate universe that when Thanos snapped in Endgame, that's what he created. was that band specifically. He didn't wipe out half the universe. He just created that whatever the hell that is. Yeah. Yes. So shout outs to Thanos.
Like Joey started to sample.
But not like modern Joey Sturridge. We're talking about like metalcore, like 2000 early 2000s.
Alexandria, like
Yeah.
We're talking, yeah, like
Kanye drums on it.
Exactly. Kanye clap.
and then we get the choir from the latest Kanye record. So there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. And then the last thing, the most important thing, tell them about Pulses, where they can find you at, and anything coming up in the next couple months, since we're in 2020 now.
We are in 2020. Pulses is found at Pulses VA on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We have a website that we kind of use, pulsesva.com. We have Bandcamp. We have merch on Partly Cloudy and Bandcamp.
Bandcamp's just pulses.bandcamp, right?
Yeah, Bandcamp is actually pulses.bandcamp.com.
There you go.
But just, they're all linked, so you'll find them. We're on like all the socials all the streaming services and whatnot. As far as where you can physically find us, we're playing a show today, so that won't matter to you at all.
Come right now.
But we don't really have anything planned. We're just trying to get the record out, so that's first and foremost.
Also, I want to shout out first, also with the record being produced by Joshua Unit.
Yes.
Previously of Wolf and Bear.
Yeah.
He's the homie. Love the dude. He's been so great to us.
And Drew Owens is doing the mastering.
Oof.
Yeah, he's
the dream team.
Idola Records, Hell Sun, Artificial Selection, I guess.
A lot like birds.
A lot of birds, yeah.
A lot of stuff. So we're stoked
Bell.
with
Bell. Bell. Shouts to Joey, my boy. Come on.
Big shout out to Joey.
Shout out to Joey. Joey's featured on the record.
Woo! My boy.
Sierra from What Sells the Head's featured on the record.
I don't know about her. I swear to God, I'm just gonna send her that clip. But anyway, continue.
Our boy Gavin is on the record. He used to play in Matt's old band.
Oh, tight.
Yeah,
okay.
I always remember for him. I told him when we stole Matt from his band because he moved over to California. So I was like, all right, Matt, join now. So I was like, all right, since we stole your guitarist, we're going to put you on the next album if you're cool with that. So but he came in with it. He came in hot.
Yeah. And as a reward to you and anybody that actually watched throughout this whole thing, I'm telling them.
Yeah,
because they deserve it.
I mean,
anybody that's actually watched this and actually comes through for this deserves to know the secret feature that we haven't told anybody really about. We have Max Bemis from Say Anything on our record. So
that is awesome. Congrats, guys.
You have that. Thank you. Yeah. We're stoked to have it. It's a great song, and it's going to be great. So that album should be out sometime in the near couple months, you would think.
Or it's like aiming for February.
Yeah, aiming for February.
But that's
but we'll see. It depends on what the rest of the stuff, CDs and all that, go with it. But it'll be out as soon as it's done. Because we are not waiting any longer. We have to. So
immediately.
Also, another tidbit. Like we were saying, we have a lot of plans for 2020, especially with us recording everything. Since we spent so long working on this record, as we said, we wrote another one, another mini record. That's gonna be very different.
Yep.
Because pretty much our kind of thought process going into this mini album is we want to do things that we know wouldn't work in our conventional, albums. It's gonna be harder. It's gonna be moodier. It's gonna be sadder. Because sad times come.
Originally, it was a winter release.
Yeah.
But now
it's gonna be like a summer release.
But
expect that.
It's heavy and
screamo
influenced, and there's one on there that's like a orchid type beat.
Yeah.
So it's like Secret Band, what they do, basically.
More or less, almost.
Yeah.
But then the whole point of it is what we're planning on doing this going forward is kind of LP EP type thing.
Feel that?
Where, you kind of just do what you want to do on the main stuff, and then do what you can't normally do on the EP stuff. So this EP ends up being a secret bandy type thing, but we have one that we're like thinking about doing that we kind of just started talking about. That's like funk, nothing else, like just like straightforward, like David mentioned it once.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of plan going forward. Got this LP coming out, got that EP coming through, and then LP3 has already started.
Yeah.
Like,
And we have a few other like little EPs and stuff
Yeah.
between the third album and that.
Got some covers, working on a cover.
Yeah.
I think we might make it a cover EP. We'll see.
There we go.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Just the goals. Put out more
Music.
stuff.
Yeah.
Content, music, content, shows, tour.
Or
With Sales Ahead, we're doing another tour.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna hate me for saying that earlier, but anyway, you should definitely go check out Pulses because they're a fantastic band. And if you live in Virginia, can guarantee you that there will be some shows in Virginia at some point in time.
We'll play the DFW in the next 2 months.
Yeah, so they will definitely do it, and you should definitely go see them. And I saw them, shouts to them like last year. I think it was like during Halloween.
Yes.
And that they were tight. So if they have stepped their live game up even more so since the last time, boy, you need to go check them out. Links are in the description where you can find out about their band, their music, all of that good shit. And if you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. Make sure to go start an internet war with Sales Ahead. Just press F in the chat.
Creature posting.
Yes, Creature Post.
Creature posting. There, go check that out. That's awesome. There's tons of memes. And just when this comes out, just make sure to roast all of With Sales Ahead. That's my personal send off to this interview, is that if you can roast them very hard, that's what I'm talking about. That's all that audio addiction love here. So go give Pulses a listen. Go give Louisiana Purchase a listen, and hopefully you guys will see more stuff in 2020. And thanks guys for coming on and chatting. Love you, Kevin, Caleb, the homies.
Thank you so much for having us. Very much appreciate it. You're the homie.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.